welcome back to the channel. This is Shenanigan, and this video is about one of the champions who's going to be buffed soon, and we're going to go ahead and discuss what his abilities are now and how it will be when the champion is buffed. And let's see what happens. This is the Hood. And as you can see, I have him at rank 565. Though I do not use him, the only reason why I have him is because of Ghost, and I have actually not even used him with Ghost because I've not had the chance to go into a fight where I need to tank SP3s or possibly not take a lot of damage after using suicides. So that's what the ability is that he has. With Ghost, when Ghost is phasing, she does not take any damage, and that's where he actually is has been rather useful for most of Ghost players. Now it's not that big. I do like him alone as well, but it's just that what he can do, a lot of other champs can do as well. So that's actually one of the main reasons why he wasn't appreciated enough, and probably that's why he's being buffed. So he has this ability where he does get invisible, but even after getting invisible, the incoming attacks only have a 45% chance to miss. Now that this may have been higher, it's seemingly higher to us because Ghost wasn't there when he was introduced. But when Ghost was introduced, invisible women, all the attacks can actually be missed once these kind of champs are invisible. Why he only has an ability to miss 45%, I'm not sure. Projectiles can be missed 90%, so that's probably one of the good things. When he's invisible, his critical damage increases as well, and he ignores a lot of armor and block proficiency. One of the main abilities that he used to have is on every critical hit, there was an 88% chance to stagger the opponent for 7.5 seconds, and once the stagger expires, either it does its full duration, or if it gets utilized to nullify a buff from the opponent, then you are going to go ahead and gain 345.15 health. The SP1 will actually put energy damage through shock on the opponent, and through heavy you can continue to refresh that shock damage, and if the shock does expire, the opponent will get stunned. The SP2 was good. With the SP2 you can actually trigger invisibility, or rather re-trigger invisibility. Have been invisible before. However, it hexes the opponent, reducing their ability accuracy by 65%. It fate seals and nullifies all the buffs. And when the hex expires, it does additional energy damage as well. You get invisible after this attack. And the SP3 was actually one of the good animations that I liked on this particular champ. On top of that, if the opponent does have let's say 2 bar of power, let's just assume that for now, this attack will deal another 150% damage, and it'll also bleed the opponent. And finally, his sig ability, where he gets doesn't mention here, yes, he becomes unstoppable while the invisibility is in cooldown. And he also have a chance to steal some of the opponent's power while attacking him, the opponent, I'm sorry. So this is something that actually can come into handy if he's vacant, of course, and you parry the opponent when the opponent has a 3 bar of power. Then you hit your SP3, so now you have a 225% additional damage on SP3, and as soon as you come out of SP3, the opponent is still stunned. You can actually hope that you steal some of the power and bring the opponent out of the SP3. So that's what actually main thing from Hood is just a synergy and nothing else. So what we're gonna check is quickly his new abilities. So these are the strengths and weaknesses. So I just want to talk about this weakness. Hood's invisibility is a buff. So I'm not sure if this is a new thing, because this has always been the case. I have actually tried it out myself even before this update came out. I did use Hood against Clairvoyant. As you know, Clairvoyant starts with 3 Clairvoyant charges, and that charges will nullify 1 buff from the opponent. So what you can try it on your own right away if you like is just go to a duel with Clairvoyant using Hood. dash back, hold block for I think 1.2 seconds to trigger invisibility, and then hit clairvoyant while invisible, she's going to nullify that buff. This has always been the case. This is not something new. The new thing that is coming to Hood is now he has these hex pistols. He always used to throw his hexes on SP2 using those pistols, but now this is going to go ahead and make it more well visible, rather, I would say. And this is kind of something that is a persistent charge which can go from one fight to another. So I'm not sure how good this is, because earlier, let's say that you're taking Hood with Ghost, you may actually take Hood against a fight or two if you like, and that fight doesn't necessarily have to be a fight where the opponent utilizes a lot of buffs. But now, I don't know, maybe if we go ahead and use Hood on such fights, he may end up using his bullets and then may end up having none uh, at some time as well. So I don't know how feasible that is. Again, hopefully, based on how his ability is, that's not going to happen. The bullets will persist from fight to fight. Maximum number is 42. So nullify one buff, you get two bullets. You make the opponent miss while invisible. You get one bullet when the invisibility ends, not immediately. Uh, then we have medium attacks in SP2. Uh, special to up buffs. I'm not sure what that means. So 100% chance to fire a bullet and inflict a stacking hex lasting 12 seconds. Each hex deals a burst of 1150 energy damage when expires. So earlier the hex was only on SP2. Now hex will be all the medium attacks and SP2. And in SP2, if you remember before, there was I think 2000 damage after the hex expires. It's half that damage almost. As you can see, 1150 here, but it's going to happen on every hex that expires. So it's going to be more than one now. Uh, so invisibility is the same. You dash back, you hold block. After it expires, after 8 seconds, so it has a cooldown of 6 seconds. The still a critical damage and an armor and block proficiency ignorance in invisibility mode. And this time they have 120% chance to miss. So which does mean that as you see here, the chance will reduce by 20% every time the opponent misses. So the first time the opponent misses, that's 120% chance to miss. The second time it's going to be 100%. The third time is going to come down to 80%. So that's definitely not guaranteed, though the first two are similar to Ghost, where mostly how I use at least her is I hit the opponent after either they miss once or twice. So maybe that's probably going to be one of the good things. But again, it's not something that is consistent, because you'll be able to do it once. Then you would go ahead and hit the opponent, but you can't dash back and get invisible again. You have to wait for the invisibility to expire for 8 seconds, and then wait for another 6 seconds for you to be able to get it back again, unless of course you can throw in SP2. So not as good as Ghost. Uh, so critical hits now have 100% chance, unlike previously 88% chance to put a stagger. So much more probability to put staggers on the opponent, and there's still a hell heal on stagger. Uh, Heavy attacks, instead of now refreshing the stun. I'm sorry, not the stun. The shock debuff or the bleed debuff now actually pauses them for 5 seconds instead. Bleed, not shock, actually. And if you have a couple of hexes on the opponent, maybe more than 2 or 3, you can actually just put a heavy and detonate them at a higher potency. This actually reminds me of the pre-fight ability that Human Torch has as well. The 75% additional damage on the incinerate effects. Okay, so similar to before, Special 1 does the shock damage and still does a stun. 5 bullets are used on Special 2, and you get a hex vulnerability debuff on the opponent, increasing the potency of new hexes by 50%. So you may want to just put a SP2, increase the potency of hexes, throw a few more mediums, get more hexes, and then throw a heavy. I think that's probably something that's going to help. The SP3 still has a higher attack rating per bar of power. It doesn't actually give a percentage anymore, does it? It used to be, I think, 75% before. Now it is 1725. That's a value now. And there's still a bleed debuff. Okay, so Sig ability, we used to be able to steal power and go stun immune. What do we have now? So now it is stun immunity while invisible instead of coming out of invisibility and while it is refreshing. And still has a chance to steal power. I think if you remember, it was above 60% for me at Sig 140. So, and that too while the invisibility was on cooldown, but now it's during invisible and it's maximum of 45% of chance. Okay. Alright, so let's quickly do a couple of fights and see how well he fares. Maybe first let's go to Act 7. I think there was a... What was the Cosmic Path? Hold on, let me check. Okay, I found the Cosmic Path here in 7.1.2. I've already set up a team here. Did not take Ghost. Don't want to start in the invisibility mode. Where was the path? I think this was it, wasn't it? Okay, whenever a cosmic attacker activates a special attack, they gain a 40% fury buff for the duration of the attack for each unique buff on them. But this is Mystic. Why am I here? Hold on, let me check again. Okay, I found a path which may help Mystic champions. I think it's 7.1.4, isn't it? Is this the path? Well, this might work, but I think there was another one here. Was this it? Yeah, this seems to be it. So we have a pressure gauge, start with 5. So if it reaches 0, we have a power drain. If it reaches 10, we have a damage. How to prevent it? Basic attacks will increase it by 1. And blocking will decrease it by 1. So whenever I block, I get some power and there's rage. Okay, so let's give it a try. Okay, so let's see how he works. We're probably gonna just do a couple of fights and maybe 1 or 2, yeah, and then we'll probably just take him to Realm of Legends and see how he works there. So by the way, I do have Mystic Dispersion at 3. So I think what I'm going to do is continue to hold block. As you can see, I am actually gaining some health as well. And continue throwing special 2s. I know specials probably should have had. Oh, did not expect that. Wait a minute, was there something about hitting a special 3 or something? Let's just, oops. Let's just hit an SP3 first and gain some distance. Okay, I wanted to hit an SP2 there, but ended up doing an SP1. SP3, beg your pardon. So, nah, this doesn't seem to be the best path for Hood at all. Okay, so, I mean, not a good fight, I would say. I'm not sure who I used in this path, but what I'm going to try to do is, in the same chapter, there was another path, and let's go ahead and try Hood on that one. Let's see how he works there. That's B. Okay, so when the opponent has an armor up buff, I think they go unblockable here. So we have Arc Overload, Armored Assault, boost the defender armor of buffs, have ability accuracy. Okay, and okay, it's a guaranteed critical hit if I end the same attack as the previous one. Okay, so let's see if we can nullify some armors and get some hexes going now. Okay, that was nice. Guaranteed crits and yeah, this is a better fight. So we're nullifying all the armor. We're not getting any fury or anything anymore. I think this is a good example of the damage Hood can deal. So as you can see, we are stealing power as well, nullifying buffs, getting invisible, more critical damage rating, getting staggers, removing the armor breaks, unstoppables. Removing all the arc overloads. And I have not used the Heimdall synergy yet. Okay, you don't want to do it, don't do it. And each time this stagger is being utilized, we're also gaining health. But it is going to be a long fight because he doesn't have enough damage. Come on. I could have just gone in, right? I mean, I'm stealing his power anyways. It's gonna change really fast. It's gonna be power stealing on invisibility now. Come on, hit me. So if the new hood will have the ability to miss on while being invisible, that means that he can also, miss specials if the special would possibly have 2 hits. Maybe you can evade the third one. I think that's also a good thing. Just awaiting these specials. I don't think we want to go ahead and go more. Let's just let me just see how much health we have. I think we ended with the whole yellow bar. And that's probably actually one of the good things. Though the fight took a long time, we did end up with full health. Okay, so that's actually what is Hood like when he is not buffed, and we will come back and see how it is when he gets his buff. But that was about it. If you do like this video, I would request you to do hit on that like button. If you don't like it, you can hit the unlike button as well. But consider probably subscribing to my channel. I'm going to try to grow a little more, getting more subscribers, getting more data out. So, well, thank you for watching. Thank you for your time, and have an excellent day. This was Shenanigan. Goodbye.